Hello Yately Hookers, we're on to the second tutorial now for how to make this Bobby Buddy teddy bear for Hampshire Constabulary. We have done the head and we're now carrying on our pattern. We are now switching to the yellow yarn that we have. Now to do this I'm going to grab my little snips and I'm just going to take off this part of the brown yarn, put that to one side, and I'm going to take the yellow yarn and I'll show you how we are going to join these together. So I have got my hoop and this is the last stitch of round 21 and we're going to move on to round 22. Now in this one we're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch and then we'll do 3 stitches all by themselves in each one, and then just repeat that to the end. So here we have our brown yarn and we are going to go through here as we normally would for a single, but instead of wrapping over the brown I'm going to pull in, there we go, the yellow and put it over like that. I'm going to bring it through. Now this is just what I do. Some people just put a normal yarn over. I like to take the tail and the main part of yarn and wrap it over and push it through and then get rid of the tail, so that's out the way, is the main part of yarn. And now to the second single crochet in the same hole. There we go, yarn over, get rid of all the hoops. Lovely. So we've got 2 single crochet in the first stitch and we've gone across to our yellow yarn. Now this tail here for the brown and the tail here for the yellow, what you can do is as you crochet you can incorporate it into your stitches. I don't do that for this one. I'm just going to tuck these inside and it should be absolutely fine like that. Right then, so we've done 2 single crochet in the first stitch and then we have to do 3 single crochets by themselves. 1, 2, 3, there we go. Then we have to repeat it again, so 2 single crochets in the same stitch, 1, 2, and then 3 by themselves, 1, 2, 3, 2 single crochets in the same stitch, 1, 2, oh, in the same stitch, 2, and then 3 single crochets by themselves, 1, 2, 2 and 3, 2 single crochets in the same stitch, 1, 2, and then 3 by themselves, 1, 2, 3, 2 single crochets in the same stitch, 1, 2, and then 3 all by themselves, 1, 2, 3, and then finally 2 in the same stitch, 1, 2, and 3 by themselves, 1, 2, and 3, finishing off in my stitch marker. So that's the end of round 22. Put your stitch marker into the last stitch and we're going to look at what round 23 is. Again, I'm going to single crochet twice in the first stitch and then we're going to do 4 stitches in each separate stitch. Let's have a look. So 2 together, 1, 2, and then 4 by themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in the same hole, 1, 2, and then 4 on their own, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in the same one, 1, 2, 4 by themselves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in the same stitch, 1, 2, 4 by themselves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in the same, 1, 2, and then 4 by themselves, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and then 2 in the same, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. So I've clearly gone wrong somewhere. I could frog it all the way back to the beginning, but I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat. So I've done 2 together. I need 4 more stitches on this round, so I'm going to do 1, 2, and then I'm going to double up and do 2 in the same. It's a bit of a cheats way, but sometimes when you're doing this and you make a mistake like I do quite often, sometimes I just fudge it. So you could frog it, take it all the way back to this first starting stitch marker and then come back to it, but do you know what, let's just crack on the way we are. There we go. Right then, on to the next one, which is so we got rounds 24, there we go, 24 to 26. We're just doing a single crochet in each stitch, so this should be 36 stitches. Let's double check that I have counted correctly. So all I'm going to do is start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So all you need to do is to count these little V's, I'll put that around, little V's that you have here, and that each one of those will be a stitch. And I have 36 now, so that's all good. Just going to tuck these tails back in here into the stuffing because they keep poking out. Okay. So we've got rows 24, 26. Now looking at that, you might think, okay, so that's 2 rows. Remember again, we've got to count all the rows. That's 24, 25, 26. So that's 3 more rows with just a single crochet in each. Again, I'm going to use my stitch markers. So I've got 1, 2, 3 rows that I'm going to do. So I'm going to use 3 stitch markers just to mark the end, so I don't need to keep count of the rows. I'm going to let you do the next 3 rows with a single crochet in each row. I'll meet you at on the end of row 26. Okay, welcome back. So you should have just finished round 26, and I can see on the back here that was the blue one was the end of round 23, 24, 25, 26. So that's just how I keep track of I've got to do a load of rounds that are all the same. Just saves me a bit of time having to keep track of everything. So I'm going to take out all the stitch markers apart from the very last one. Honestly, I could not live without stitch markers because my memory is shocking. Right, so we're now on to round 27. Round 27 over here, we're going to do single crochet twice in the next stitch, and then we're going to do 8 stitches each in their own. So we're going to keep doing that until we get to the end of the round. So let's do that then. Single crochet twice, 1, 2 in the same stitch, and then we do 8 each in their own. 1, 2, 3, 4, bit more yarn. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to do 2 in the same. 1, 2. Then 8 in their own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 in the same stitch. 1, 2. That's your increase, and then 8 in their own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to do 2 in the same. 1, 2, and then 8 each in their own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Take out a stitch marker, put it into the last stitch of the round you've just done, which is round 27. And now we have rounds 28 and 29, so that's 2 rounds, each just with 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I think we can go off and do that ourselves, and I'll meet you back here at the end of round 29. Okay, so we've got to the end of round 29, and our last round in yellow is 2 single crochets together and then 9 stitches each in their own stitch, and repeat that until the end of the round. So let's do that. Let's move that out of the way. So 2 together. 1, 2, and then 9 each in their own stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, more yarn, 9. 2 together in the same stitch. 1, 2, and then 9 by themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, I've gone too far, haven't I? Hang on, let's go back again. So double check if you do this yourself. I was away then, I was thinking about other things. There you go. So you can see here, these are all single crochets by themselves. And then over here we have a fatter stitch. So I know that's where we've put 2 together. So what I can do is just hold that and frog this. There we go. So that's the stitch. So I can just start back from there, just in case you have the same problem. That's what happens when I don't concentrate. So 2 together, 9 in each of their own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and stop, and then 2 in the same stitch. 1, 2, and then 9. Remember to concentrate and stop at 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 2 together. 1, 2, and then 9 each in their own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. Does it finish in the stitch marker? 7, 8, 9. Yes. Lovely. So that is our last round in our yellow. Oh, here is last round of our yellow. Now the pattern says to switch to brown. Now I didn't like this. If I bring over my teddy bear here, because when you attach the legs, it looks like he's wearing leg warmers. And actually he should be wearing trousers. So I think this bit here should actually be navy, so it looks like trousers that he is wearing. So that's what we're going to do next. So it's the same as we did before. Take your existing yarn. I'm going to get my snips. Just take that off there. And I'm going to get my navy yarn. Here it is. And looking at the pattern here, our first round of navy we're just, oh look, round 31 and 32. Our next 2 rounds are going to be a single crochet in each stitch, so nice and easy. So let's take our yarn here. I'm just going to bend that over so I'm ready to go. I'm going to put my hook into that first stitch. I'm just going to pull the yellow tail to make sure that the loop that's on there is nice and tight. I'm going to put the navy yarn over the top, pull it through. I'm going to wrap both the tail and the yarn of the navy over the hoop for that first single crochet. Just pull that yellow nice and tight. And now I'm only going to use the yarn. The tail of the navy and the yellow are going to get tucked in in there inside the toy. And now we're going to carry on with our single crochets in the remainder of the round. And this is where I'm going to leave you to do the next 2 rounds by yourself, and I'll see you back here at the end of round 32. Okay, welcome back. You should have just finished round 32. Now you will notice on your teddy bear that these parts where we have changed our yarn colour is quite noticeable. Now one of the things you need to remember is when we get round to putting our parts together is that these bits should be at the back of your teddy bear, so at the front you can't see where there's been any joins. That's something you tend to get if you're working in a spiral like we are. You'd get this. You can work in rounds so that you actually connect up and then you start a new row above, and then you don't get these jagged starts in between your colour changes. Okay, so we're on to round 33. Now in round 33 we've currently got 44 stitches going all the way around, and we need to reduce it down to 42 stitches. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to stitch 2 together. Now you're going to find it harder to see now because of this navy yarn. Darker yarn's really hard to work with. But we're going to go into 1. And remember, when we're stitching 2 together, we don't do the yarn over at the end. We're going to go and collect the yarn through the stitch of the second stitch, pull it up, and you'll have 3 hoops on your hook, yarn over, take them all off. And we've joined 2 together with just 1 chain at the top. Now we need to do a single crochet in 20 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. I remember to stop. Then we have to do another 2 stitches joined together, and you can see with the white paper behind here, we need to connect this stitch and this stitch here. So we're going to go in, collect the yarn, pull it out, and then to the next stitch, collect the yarn, pull it out. So you've got 3 hoops on there, do a yarn over and take those 3 hoops off. And now we should have 20 more stitches, 1 until the end, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, even I'm struggling to see the stitches, 16, 17, 18, 19, and yep, finished on the stitch marker. I like it when that happens. Stitch marker out, put it into the last stitch of the last round you've done, and looking on to round 34, we're going to start a nice pattern. So it's 2 single crochets together and then 5 single crochets each in their own stitch until the end. So what we're starting to do now is we're just starting to get this tapering coming back down here, where we're starting to make it narrower. So your rounds will go a little bit quicker from here on out. So let's get on with round 34. 2 together, so collect the yarn through 1, collect the yarn through 2, yarn over, get rid of those, and then 5 stitches, single crochets in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 single crochets together, go and collect the yarn in 1, collect the yarn in 2, yarn over, take off 3 hoops, and then 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to do 2 single crochets together. So through 1, collect the yarn, put it through 2, collect the yarn, put it through, yarn over, take off 3 hoops, 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 single crochets together. 1, collect the hoop, 2, collect it, yarn over, take off 3 hoops, 5 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 single crochets together, so go through first, pull up the yarn, go through the second, pull up the yarn, yarn over, take off the 3 hoops, and then 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 single crochets together through the first, pull up the yarn, through the second, pull up the yarn, yarn over, take off 3 hoops, and then 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Take out your stitch marker, put it in the last stitch of the round you've just completed, and now we are on to round 35, and this one is stitching 2 together and then 4 single crochets. So start again. In the first, pull up the yarn, in the second, pull up the yarn, yarn over, take off 3 hoops, single crochet. Oh, she says single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet 2 together. In 1, pull up the yarn. In 2, pull up the yarn, yarn over, take off 3 hoops. 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet 2 together. So in the first one, pull up the yarn. In the second one, pull up the yarn, yarn over through the 3 hoops, and then we're doing 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 together. In the first, pull up the yarn. In the second, pull up the yarn, yarn over through the 3 hoops, and then 4 single crochet again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same again. 2 single crochet together. In the first, pull up the yarn. In the second, pull up the yarn, yarn over, take off 3 hoops, and then 1, 2, 3, 3, 4 single crochet, and then 2 together. 1, 2, yarn over 3 hoops, and then 4 single crochet to the end of the round. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is the end of round 35. Okay, so we're on to round 36. Round 36 is stitching 2 together and then a single crochet in 3 stitches. So let's do that. So we're going to go into 1, 2 stitches together, and then 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 singles together. 1, 2, and then 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. 2 single crochets together. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, and then 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. 2 single crochets together. 1, 2, and then 3 single crochets in their own. 1, 2, 3. 2 single crochets together. 1, 2, and then 3 in each in their own stitch. 2, 3. 2 single crochets together. 1, 2, and then 3 singles. 1, 2, and the last one's in the stitch marker. Super duper. Stitch marker comes out and pop it in the last stitch of the round we've just done, and now we're on to 2 single crochets together and a single crochet in next 2 stitches, which is round 37. So off we go again. In 1, in 2, stitch them together, and then 2 singles. 1, 2, 2 singles stitched together. 1, 2, and then 1, 2 separate singles. 1, 2, there we go. 2 single crochets together. 1, 2, and then 2 each in their own stitch. 1, 2, 2 single crochets together. 1, 2, and then 2 singles each in their own. 1, 2, 2 single crochets put together. 1, 2, and then 2 singles each in their own. 1, 2, 2 single crochets put together. 1, 2, and then 2 single crochets each in their own to the end. Take out the stitch marker, bob it in the last stitch of the round we've just done. Now what I recommend we do now, because this opening here is starting to get quite small, is we're going to start putting some stuffing into the belly. So I'm just going to take my hook out, grab a stitch marker, pop it through there just so my yarn doesn't escape, and grab some stuffing to pop in there. Again, don't overstuff it. We don't want the holes to be stretched too much. There we go. And again, all of this, the shape, when you look at it at the end, might be a bit lopsided, and you can kind of squish it to mould it into the shape you want. Right. Have a look, how's that looking? Nice head. Oh, head's a bit wonky. There we go. And then we've got a full tummy. And I'm just going to carry on now with the rest of this crochet, and I'll do some last minute stuffing just at the end as it starts to turn in. Right, then take out my holder for my hook, and our next, hang on, my yarn's getting all tangled up. That's not going to help me, is it? There we go. Right, our next round is a stitch 2 together and just a single crochet all the way round. So let's do that. So 2 stitches together, 1, 2, and a single crochet by itself. 2 singles together, 1, 2, it's going to get really fiddly from here on out, and then 1 by itself. And then we're going to do 2 stitches together, 1, 2, and I will struggle with this, but try and keep your tension quite tight now on here. 1 stitch, otherwise you'll start to get big holes forming, which I usually do. But 2 together, nice tight tension, pull it through, 1 single crochet by itself. There we go. 2 single crochets together, 1, 2, and pull it through, 1 stitch by itself. 2 single crochets together, 1, 2, and then 1 single by itself. There we go. Lovely jubbly. And I'm going to take out my stitch marker, and I'm going to put that, there we go, in the last stitch of the round we've just done. Okay, we've got 2 more rounds to go. Do I need a bit more in there? Probably a little bit extra. Let's see what we can squish in here. Let's have a little look. Can I do a bit more? I think so. Make sure it's all looking quite nice. I reckon a little bit there. Right, now this is where it's going to get really fiddly. So the next round, all we're going to do is stitch, have 2 single crochets pulled together 6 times. So we're going to reduce this round from 12 stitches to 6 stitches. So we'll go into 1, 2, keep your tension really tight on these rows, and then stitch them together. That's 1. Next 2, 1, 2, and pull that nice and tight. That's 2 single crochets stitched together. Next one, 1, 2, nice tight tension, yarn over, pull them all through. That's 3, 1, 2, nice and tight, yarn over. Oh, that's 4, 2 more to go. 1, 2, yarn over, put it all through. There we go. Last one's in 1. With that polyfill. 1. And then in stitch marker. I'm fighting it. 2, yarn over, put it all through. Woohoo! Now I'm going to take out this stitch marker. We know that this one here is our first stitch. I'm going to grab, where's my yarn, my little needle. So the last round we need to go through the first stitch, which is this one here, and we need to go through the 4th stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So my hook has to go through number 1 and number 4. Now they are opposite each other for this one, and quite simply on this one it says to do a single crochet. I'm actually going to do a slip stitch instead. So let's just do that. So through under number 1 and number 4, I'm going to do a yarn over, pull it through, and then straight under the hoop that's already on my hook. I'm going to put it nice and tight, grab my snips, I'm going to pull that through and tighten it. Now I'm going to grab my yarn needle, pop my tail through there. She says this is where I wish I had one of those needles that Trish had at the group the other night, which is like this, but rather than having the eye on here, it looks like that, but it's got like a plastic hoop on it, so you can easily put it through, but the hoop can then just bend nice and thin when you thread it. And what you're going to do is you're going to just basically pop the yarn anywhere within here. I'm going to put it out the other side. Make sure you keep it within the navy blue part. Squish it down a little bit, snip it. When it bounces back up, that yarn tail will disappear inside the body. So there we have our, up a little bit, our head and body of our teddy bear. And our next tutorial will be looking at making the muzzle that goes on the teddy bear's face.